Welcome back to Dungon Travels. Kay, today's video presents highlights of our walking tour of historic Koblenz, Germany. And finally, the record heat that has enveloped this part of Europe has disappeared and temperatures are more normal with highs in the 70s and lows in the 50s. A welcome change indeed. At least this seems different now than being at home.
Yes, I agree. The weather change has been wonderful. This is our second visit to Koblenz, having toured here almost 10 years ago on August 17, 2015. Koblenz, a major German city, is at the confluence of the Moselle and Rhine rivers. It was established as a Roman military post in 8 BC. The Rhine Gorge was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2002, with Koblenz marking the northern end. The UNESCO World Heritage Site declaration of the Rhine Gorge was because of its beauty as a cultural landscape, its importance as a route of transport across Europe, and the unique adaptations of the buildings and terraces to the steep slopes of the gorge.
The German corner rises strikingly into the waters and forms the confluence of the Moselle and Rhine. This always intrigues me, especially from the first time we visited Koblenz. And then the statue of Kaiser Wilhelm rises imposingly here at 37 meters high. The Electoral Palace in Koblenz is one of the most important palace buildings of early French Classicism in southwest Germany and is one of the last residential palaces built in Germany immediately before the French Revolution. In 1944, the Electoral Palace was destroyed down to the outer walls and rebuilt in 1950-1951.
Of course, this was during the time of World War II. The St. Castor Basilica is the oldest preserved church in Koblenz. The Collegiate Church, consecrated in 836, was the scene of significant historical events. The monastery of St. Castor was the meeting and arbitration place of emperors and kings, as well as their descendants. In 842, the Romanesque Church was the venue for the negotiations of the sons of Emperor Louis the Pious, which led to the partition of the Frankish Empire in the Treaty of Verdun the following year. The building in its present form dates mainly from the middle of the 12th century. On July 30, 1991, Pope John Paul II elevated the Castor Church to the status of Basilica Minor. Together with the Liebfrau Kirk and the Florent Kirk, the Castor St. Basilica shapes the silhouette of the Koblenz Old Town.
On the highest point in the Old Town stands the Romanesque Church of Our Lady, also known as the Notre Dame Church. It seems like every town in France and Germany has a Notre Dame church, and I think we've been to every one of them. Although what's seen today dates from the 12th century with later 15th century additions, there's evidence pointing to a much older fifth of worship having been built here by the Romans. Notable features in the Church of Our Lady include its splendid Gothic choir and the attractive onion-shaped Baroque towers with their 4 bells, famous for tolling the Revelers' Bell at 10 p.m. each evening.
We also toured the 12th century St. Florence Church, notable for the old cannonball above the baptismal vault, a reminder of the destruction of the city during earlier wars, and its picturesque setting overlooking an attractive public square.
It's hard to detect the evidence of World War II now, as many of the buildings have been destroyed. The Old Town district of Koblenz has been painstakingly restored after the devastation of World War II. Highlights of our tour included the Town Hall, built between 1695 and 1700, in front of which is a humongous Schengelbrunnen, a monument designed in 1940 by Karl Berger and dedicated to the poet Joseph Cornelius, who penned the lyrics for the city's hymn, "Watch Out for the Spitting Boy."
The town clock in St. Florence Market in Koblenz contains more than one face. It's adorned with an image that, according to local lore, represents Johann Luther, a 16th century robber. Though he was sentenced to death and lost his head in 1536, his visage still keeps watch over Koblenz Old Town from beneath the clock. The face's eyes roll back and forth as the pendulum moves, marking the passage of time. When the clock strikes the hour or half hour, the whimsical sheet metal man sticks out his tongue to mock the good citizens of Koblenz. This depicts the gruesome yet morbidly comical expression Luther supposedly made in his final moments before his head was chopped off. Some legends even say he continued to roll his eyes and wiggle his tongue after his head lay severed from his body.
My, that's quite a story. Upon returning to the Viking Herja, the afternoon's upstream sailing took us by castles at almost every bend of the Rhine River.
That concludes this video. Goodbye for now, and connect with us again. We tour Mandt and the Gutenberg Museum and do a walking tour of Speyer.